The chapter starts with Luffy, who is already holding Chopper and hurtling through the air, spots someone and yells, "Who is that?" He realizes it is none other than the young girl, Jewelry Bonnie. Luffy holds Jewelry Bonnie by ankle to save her from drowning in the water grave below and exclaims she just popped out the water. Jewelry Bonnie is barely conscious with water spitting out of her mouth as she gasps for air, coughing and panting. Jewelry Bonnie coughs and realizes that she is saved, but is unable to recognize the people who rescued her, probably because of her watery eyes, and yells who is there. Before she could figure out her rescues, her attention turns to something important, and she asks, "Wait, where did that monster go?" She looks below and she catches a sight that made her eyes turn wide. She shouts to warn the Straw Hats that there is something below them. Bonnie tells them to look down. Seeing her conscious, the crew is relieved that she seems safe, but they are still worried that how far is Luffy going to keep flying. One of the crew members says, "I think that Runt's trying to say something." The crew members hear that she said look down. As the crew look below, they are left shocked. One of the crew members yelled, "There is something scary beneath us." The crew members recognize it is Mega Shark below, and Thousand Sunny is looking like a tiny dot in front of the mega creature. As the creature is about to swallow them, the group decide to scram before it surfaces. The creature breaks out of the surface of ocean water with a snap and knocks the ship in the air. On one hand, Sunny is knocking in the air, and on the other hand, Zoro, who is clinging to the deck, equips his sword and yells, "What the hell is this thing?" It is a shark, but no, it can't be because it is too big and it is made of metal. Jinbei, who is controlling the ship, tells the crew to hold on tight, as it is going to be a rough landing. Jinbei then sees that Luffy and others fell in the sea as a splash sound can be heard. As Jinbei is a fisherman, he has to go and save the crew. He orders Franky to take the helm of the ship and steer the ship over to them. Jinbei asks Franky if he got it. Jinbei jumps into the ocean water to rescue the crew, while Franky realizes that the ship Sunny needs a rapid speed and therefore he activates the keel attachment. As he does so, the parts of ship clank and then click. Franky pulls out a rabbit screw propeller and begins to rush the ship in rapid speed to save it from the shark. The metal shark, however, does not step, and with beep sounds, it fires several torpedoes at the ship. The torpedoes move in the direction of ship, and within a split second, there is a big blast. With a massive boom, some filler sounds can be heard from the crew, and one of them yells, "What was that?" With the ship turning upside down, the crew finds it a crap, and realize that they are capsizing. With that, they are knocked towards the watery grave. As they fell in the water where the mega shark is waiting for them, the crew lets out a desolate cry. Jinbei, hearing the sound, quickly rushes to save Luffy, Chopper, and Bonnie. Jinbei exclaims that they don't need to worry as he is here. Jinbei concludes that the noise he heard sounded like an explosion. He then grabs the three and tells them that they are heading up. Jinbei reaches at the surface of the water and sees a tremendous current in which steering a ship is next to impossible. At that moment, the metal shark widely opens his mouth and turns its attention to Jinbei. Jinbei sees that the shark has fired a cannon at them and orders everyone to hold their breath as they are going to dive. The three of them coughs, take a deep breath, and then Jinbei says, "Here we go." Jinbei with the three crew members dive back into the water and avoids the cannon attack. Jinbei with the crew swims to the ocean surface from inside. The Straw Hats, on the other hand, realize that the waves are too strong and they can't get back up. The shark's attention turns to the Straw Hats because the ship is drowning. The shark makes a swishing sound and is about to slurp the Straw Hats. The shark realizes a mega creature behind it. The mega creature is a Vega Force 1 robot. The mega robot sees the shark and starts punching it. While the robot is continuously bashing the shark, Luffy and his crewmates are still struggling to come to the surface of water. Meanwhile, on a nearby island resides G-14 Naval Base. At the base, a girl wearing glasses says, "Be good boys and girls, as it is medicine time now." The girl is the Navy headquarters captain, Tashigi, who is looking after the children previously rescued from the Vegapunk Island. One of the kids say, "I am only drinking this because Tashigi said so." The kids find the medicine yuck. Mocha, a girl, says, "We have all shrunk quite a lot, have not we?" Tashigi replies that absolutely, as she hardly recognizes Mocha. Tashigi is then interrupted by someone who asks her if she got a second. The girl says to Tashigi that the talk is about the pest, Helmeppo, and asks her, can she do something about it? The girl is G-14 Commander Vice Admiral Dahl. Tashigi replies that she cannot do anything as Helmeppo's best friend's life is on the line, and she too is worried about Captain Koby, as he is their junior as a Marine after all. Soon, Navy Head Quarter Lieutenant Commander, part of Sword. Helmeppo says, please, you have to listen. I am begging you. We are all on the same side. Along with him, Navy Headquarter Commander, part of Sword. Hibari says, I second this. I owe Koby-senpai. They are begging Navy HQ Rear Admiral and fellow Sword member Prince Groose to go with them to Hachinosu to rescue Koby. Gruss says that Pirate Island is the Emperor Blackbeard's home turf, and they will be swarmed by pirates if they stick their noses into that beehive, and that is why it is called Hachinosu. Helmeppo weeps and says Egghead is so close to us. Why can't we deploy a Seraphim? Groose yells. Are you crazy? Gruss then tells both of them to calm down. Gruss then says that at the moment, we can't get a hold of Drake, the Sword Group leader, either, and we are in no position to act right now. Is that clear? Luffy's group is on the land because of Jimbei. There, Bonnie says to Luffy, how can you not know who I am? She then tells him that she is also a part of Worst Generation, just like him. Bonnie says, we were both on Sabity 2 years ago. Luffy surprisingly replies, you were part of it too. Bonnie then asks him that what is the deal with his wanted poster. She thought that his hair is white now, and it also made a stir about it in the paper. Luffy replies that he looks like that when he is totally free. Bonnie asks him what does that mean. She then asks him, is not he worried about the rest of his crew? Luffy replies that they will figure it out on their own. Bonnie says she cannot believe he has got the Knight of the Sea, Jimby, with you. Jimby says, since we are talking on the subject, what happened to your ship and crew? Bonnie says that she came alone as the metal monster back there gobbled up her ship. She says that reminds me I am starving. Luffy say let's go and find a restaurant as I am hungry too. Chopper asks, Luffy, does he have money? Bonnie says, you guys don't have a clue that you are not going to find any food joints here as this is a government island. And does she need to spell everything out? Bonnie says, we are on Egghead Island, the island that is said to be 500 years in the future. Dr. Vegapunk's research lab is also based here. Luffy exclaims that he knows the name Vegapunk. Bonnie says that Vegapunk is the reason she is here as they have got business. The big Vegapunk robot has now put up the 1,000 Sunny, saving everyone from drowning. The crew gasps for air, feeling that they are finally above the waves. Franky becomes excited. Same goes for the others. Zoro, however, does not let his guard down. Just as the crew is excited seeing the giant robot, they hear a voice that says, this won't do at all. It is another failure. I wonder why, though. Perhaps overriding primal desires is simply impossible. The crew sees somebody's body coming out. A young girl comes out, leaving the group surprised. Franks thanks her for saving them. The girl replies to him, whoever you are, I ordered the mechanical shark to scout, report, and fire. But if it keeps trying to eat ships, there won't be anything left to salvage. I must have bungled the programming. The girl then says, forgive me, but did you say I just saved you? You naive pirates. I work for the government despite me mediocrity, and they like to call me their scientific genius. The girl then reveals her identity, saying, you can call me Dr. Vegapunk. The crew is left in awe.